History is not just a story of what happened. It is a whisper from the past, filled with the voices of those who dared to change everything. And in this room today, that whisper becomes a roar. We stand on the shoulders of giants, we walk paths carved by courage, we inherit a world shaped by the relentless spirit of those who refused to accept the world as it was, and instead, fought for the world as it could be. These are not just names in a textbook, they are echoes of a fire that once burned so brightly, its embers still glow in the soul of anyone who has ever dreamed of something more. Today, we will not just remember them, we will reignite their fire within us. We will journey through time, not as passive observers, but as apprentices to greatness. We will meet the legends, learn their language of resilience, and discover the shocking, powerful truth, that the same spirit that forged empires, ended injustices, and lit the darkness of ignorance, is not a relic of the past. It is a seed dormant within you, waiting for the courage to grow. Our journey begins not with a king on a throne, but with a man in prison. His body is confined to a cold, damp cell. The walls are thick, the air is stale. The world outside has tried to bury him, to silence him, to make him disappear. But they made a fatal mistake. They imprisoned the body, but they could not imprison the mind. They locked away the man, but they could not lock away the idea, and in the silence of that cell, with only his thoughts for company, he begins to write. He dips his pen into the well of his suffering, and he writes not with ink, but with conviction. He writes about freedom. He writes about dignity. He writes about a future where his people, and all people, can walk with their heads held high. He writes not a lament, but a blueprint for liberation. Every word is a hammer strike against the chains that bind his nation. Every sentence is a brick in the foundation of a new society. He is using the very solitude meant to break him, to build the intellectual arsenal that will shatter an empire of oppression. This man, of course, is Nelson Mandela, and his 27 years in prison were not a pause in his life's mission. They were the crucible that forged it. He emerged not with bitterness, but with a staggering, world-changing capacity for forgiveness and reconciliation. He understood that true leadership is not about vengeance, it is about building a future so bright, it outshines the shadows of the past. Mandela's lesson for us is profound and immediate. What are the prisons in your mind? What are the walls of doubt, fear, or circumstance that you have built around yourself, or that others have built for you? Are you trapped in a job that feels like a cell? Are you confined by the opinions of others? Are you serving a sentence of your own low self-esteem? Mandela teaches us that the most powerful freedom is the freedom we claim in our own minds. No physical barrier, no external circumstance can truly hold you captive once you decide that you are free. Once you decide that your spirit is unshakable. Your current confinement, whatever it may be, is not your destination. It is your preparation, it is your Robben Island. It is where you gather your strength. It is where you clarify your vision. It is where you write the manifesto of your future life with the ink of your present struggles. Do not waste your imprisonment. Use it, learn from it. Plan your escape, not through bitterness, but through a relentless, unwavering focus on the person you are becoming and the life you are destined to lead. Let us now travel to a different kind of battlefield, not one of physical conflict but of moral and spiritual warfare. A small, humble man stands before a vast ocean of people. He wears simple clothes, his frame is slight, but his eyes hold a fire that can melt steel. He speaks not with the roar of a dictator, but with the quiet, unassailable power of truth. He is fighting an empire with only two weapons: truth and non-violence. He calls it satyagraha, the force which is born of truth and love. He asks his followers to endure beatings without raising a hand, to face prison without hatred, to absorb the violence of their oppressors and reflect back a dignity so profound it shames the very concept of tyranny. This man, Mahatma Gandhi, was not a soldier, but he commanded the most powerful army the world has ever seen, an army of conscience. He knew that you cannot defeat darkness with more darkness, you can only defeat it with light. You cannot defeat hatred with more hatred. You can only defeat it with love, which is not a weak emotion, but the toughest force in the universe. The British Empire had the guns, the ships, the armies. But Gandhi had the one thing they could not defeat: an idea whose time had come. And with that idea he moved a mountain. He freed a nation. Gandhi's lesson for us is a challenge to our modern world of instant gratification and loud angry noise. What battles are you fighting with the wrong weapons? Are you trying to fight negativity with more negativity? Are you trying to shout down your critics, only to find your own voice has become a weapon of the very hostility you despise? Gandhi calls to us across the decades and asks us to be the change we wish to see in the world. He asks us to wage our personal wars with the weapon of relentless integrity, to fight for your dreams not by tearing others down, but by building yourself up with such impeccable character that your very existence becomes a statement of your cause. Your life is your protest. Your integrity is your picket line. Your unwavering commitment to your values, in the face of a world that often rewards compromise, is the most powerful revolution you will ever lead. Now, let our journey take us to the world of science and thought. To a man sitting in a quiet study, his mind racing at the speed of light, he is visualizing the very fabric of the universe. He is asking questions that no one has dared to ask before. What if everything we thought we knew about space and time was wrong? What if the rules that governed the falling of an apple were the same rules that governed the motion of the planets? This man, Albert Einstein, was a patent clerk, a third-class technical expert, when he published his theory of relativity. He was not in the hallowed halls of a great university, he was on the outside, and yet from the outside he saw more clearly than anyone on the inside. He challenged the established dogma of centuries. He looked at the data, looked at the universe, and had the courage to say, the greats who came before me, Newton, Maxwell, they were brilliant, but they were not entirely right. He dared to imagine a new reality, and in doing so he rewrote the laws of physics. Einstein's lesson is for anyone who has ever felt like an outsider. For anyone who has ever been told, that's not how it's done. Or, you don't have the right credentials. Your greatest asset may be your perspective from the outside. You are not blinded by the conventional wisdom of the unsiders. You can see the flaws in the system. You can ask the naive questions that lead to groundbreaking answers. Do not let your current position, your lack of a title, or your non-traditional background make you feel small. The world is not changed by those who fit perfectly into the old boxes. It is changed by those who are brave enough to draw a new shape entirely. Your unique mind, your unconventional path is not a liability. It is your superpower. Use it to question everything. Use it to imagine the impossible. Because the impossible is just a problem waiting for a mind like yours to solve it. Now, let us turn to a different kind of strength. The strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. A young girl hidden in a secret annex, fills the pages of a diary. Outside, the world is descending into the deepest, most profound darkness humanity has ever known. Hatred has become law, fear is the air people breathe. But in that small, hidden space, this girl writes. She writes about her dreams of becoming a writer. She writes about her crush on the boy sharing her hiding place. She writes about her belief that people are still truly good at heart. She, Anne Frank, is a beacon. A single, flickering candle defiantly holding back the overwhelming night. She was not a general. She was not a political leader. She was a child. And yet her words, penned in the shadow of the gallows, have outlived the regime that sought to exterminate her. They have taught generations more about courage, hope, and the resilience of the human spirit than any political treatise ever could. Anne Frank's lesson is the most intimate and personal of all. It is for the days when your own world feels dark, when the news is overwhelming, when personal tragedy strikes and it feels like the light has gone out forever. Anne whispers to us from her pages, look at how a single candle can both defy and define the darkness. You have that candle within you. It is your hope. It is your capacity for joy even in sorrow. It is your ability to find one beautiful thing, one moment of connection, one reason to smile, even when everything seems lost. Do not let the vastness of the darkness extinguish your small, beautiful light. Your light is not small, it is everything. Tend to it, protect it, share it. For your light, like Anne's, has the power to outshine the darkness long after the storms have passed. Our journey continues to a woman who could not move, but who moved the world. She is locked in a body that has betrayed her. A degenerative disease has stolen her ability to move, to speak, to even breathe on her own. She is a mind trapped in a statue. And yet, from that profound physical silence, she produces a symphony of thought that echoes through the cosmos. She, Stephen Hawking, uses the only thing she has left, the brilliant, untamed universe of her mind, to travel to the beginning of time and to the edges of black holes. She asks the biggest questions we can ask: where did we come from? What is the nature of reality? She does not curse her body, she transcends it. She becomes a pure mind, a vessel for the universe to understand itself. Her physical condition was not her limitation. It was the very thing that focused her mind with laser-like intensity on the questions that mattered. Stephen Hawking's lesson shatters every excuse we have ever made. What limitation are you allowing to define you? Is it a lack of education? A lack of resources? A physical ailment? A past mistake? Hawking teaches us that the only true disability is a defeated spirit. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. It can build bridges over any chasm of circumstance. It can find a way where there is no way. Your greatest breakthroughs will not come from a place of comfort and ease. They will come from the focused pressure of your challenges. Your obstacles are not in your way, they are the way. They are forcing you to think differently, to adapt, to become stronger and smarter than you ever would have been without them. Now, let us gather courage from a voice that would not be silenced. A woman, born into a world that tried to tell her she was less than, simply because of the color of her skin and her gender. She is told to be quiet, she is told to know her place, but she has a fire in her belly and a song in her heart that refuses to be muffled. She, Maya Angelou, turns her pain into poetry. She transforms her trauma into triumph. She takes the brutal facts of her early life, poverty, racism, sexual assault, and she does not let them become her story. Instead, she weaves them into a narrative of survival, resilience, and ultimately soaring joy. She writes, "Still I rise," 2 words that form a battle cry for the ages. She declares, "You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise." Maya Angelou's lesson is for anyone who has ever been made to feel small, for anyone who has been told they are not enough. She commands us to rise, not just once but again and again and again. Every morning you choose to get out of bed after a defeat, you rise. Every time you speak your truth in a room that doesn't want to hear it, you rise. Every time you choose love over fear, hope over despair, you rise. Your life is your poem. Write it with bold strokes, write it with rhythm and passion, and let its refrain be a thunderous, unapologetic "Still I rise." Finally, let us look to a leader who wielded power not for himself, but for an idea. A man who stood on the steps of a monument and painted a dream with his words. He did not speak of retaliation or violence. He spoke of a dream so beautiful, so just, so inherently right that it resonated in the hearts of millions. He, Martin Luther King Jr., gave a nation a moral compass. He held up a mirror to America and asked it to live up to its own creed. He marched, he protested, he was arrested, his house was bombed, his life was threatened daily. But he never let go of the dream. He never traded his message of love for one of hate. He understood that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. But he also knew that it doesn't bend on its own. It bends because people of courage and conviction put their shoulders to it and push. Martin Luther King Jr.'s lesson is about the power of a vision. What is your dream? Not just for the world but for your own life. What is the mountaintop you are trying to reach? You must be able to see it, clearly and vividly, even when you are still deep in the valley of struggle. Your dream is your North Star. It will guide you through the darkest nights and the most confusing paths. But a dream without action is just a fantasy. You must be the bender of the arc. You must take the dream out of your mind and etch it into reality through your daily actions, your relentless effort, and your unwavering faith. So here we are. We have stood with Mandela in his cell. We have marched with Gandhi in his protest. We have dreamed with Einstein in his study. We have hoped with Anne in her annex. We have explored with Hawking in his mind. We have risen with Maya in her truth. We have dreamed with Martin on his mountaintop. And now we return to this room, to you. Sitting there, watching this. You have seen the blueprints of greatness. You have felt the fire of their spirits. And now, the critical, undeniable question is, what will you do with this legacy? These legends were not supernatural beings, they were human beings. They felt fear, they knew doubt, they faced failure. The difference is, they did not let that be the end of their story. They chose again and again to listen to the stubborn, persistent voice inside them that said, "Keep going. Your life matters. Your contribution counts." That same voice is inside you. It may be a whisper right now, drowned out by the noise of bills, responsibilities, distractions, and fears, but it is there. It is the seed of your own legend. Your life may not free a nation or redefine physics, but it will touch lives. It will create ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. Your legacy is the kindness you show, the integrity you demonstrate, the courage you muster on an ordinary Tuesday, the dream you refuse to abandon. The world does not need you to be a perfect, flawless statue of a hero. It needs you to be a living, breathing, trying, failing, rising, fighting, loving human being who refuses to give up on themselves and on the good they can do. So, from this moment forward, I challenge you. Be the Mandela of your own mind, and claim your freedom from internal limitation. Be the Gandhi of your daily interactions, and fight your battles with integrity. Be the Einstein of your field, and dare to question the conventional wisdom. Be the Anne Frank of your dark days, and protect your flickering light of hope. Be the Stephen Hawking of your challenges, and use your mind to transcend your circumstances. Be the Maya Angelou of your story, and rise, and rise, and rise again. Be the Martin Luther King Jr. of your future, and hold fast to a dream so bright it guides your every step. You are the heir to a throne of courage you have not yet claimed. You are the next chapter in the epic story of human greatness. The legends of the past have passed the torch. It is burning in your hands now. Do not hide its light. Do not let its flame go out. Carry it, let it illuminate your path. And as you walk, you will discover the most profound truth of all. You are not just learning about legends. You are becoming one. Thank you for watching Inspire Room. If this message connected with the hero inside you, share this light. Share your own story of rising in the comments below. Subscribe, and let's continue this journey together. Until next time, remember, history is not just a story of what happened, it is an invitation for you to become what happens next. Go make history.